Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Sever7 and today we've got something special. We got a spicy one today. We're taking a look at the Infinite Charlie Weynao. Of course, with the ultimate goal of seeing if it's worth adding to your collection or your daily carry rotation. Now, I did purchase this knife with my own money. It wasn't gifted. It wasn't loaned. It's not pass around. This is all me. Now, Infinite Charlie is a brand that maybe like 1% of you have heard of. It's a Chinese boutique brand. So, we have boutique brands like Vero, Null Knives, Arcane Design. Those are kind of like our boutique brands, knives hovering in the, you know, uh, $350 to $500 price range. This is going to be very much in that same vein, just a much more premium version of it. And man, I am excited to get into this one. Jesus. Okay. So I do want to say I appreciate everyone for liking, subscribing, sharing the videos. One quick grift is I'm not able to monetize on YouTube. And all of the share sale links that we use to make money when you buy stuff, those are gone for the foreseeable future until they finish transitioning their system. So I'm going to have my Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo down in the description. If you want to help out with shipping, that would be fantastic. You don't have to go crazy, but I spend $240 a month in shipping, and every little bit helps. So thank you. All right. So we have these Timascus scales, and I can honestly say I have never seen Timascus that looks like this. It's got vibrant oranges. It's got grays. Try to get the camera to focus a little bit better. It doesn't know what to do with all the light. And I believe the pocket clip is just a heat anodization. I believe it's the same for the back spacer. I don't believe those are Timascus. We just have the full Timascus scales. We have T8 for the hardware. We got the one body screw down here. We've got our pivot screw up here. We do not have a spot for a lanyard. I lied. Yes, we do. And then we've got this kind of spined back spacer. That looks really, really good. Yeah, I am just in awe at this thing. It hasn't totally set in that I have it. This is a one of one. So this like half dress configuration is the only one that was made. Don't get me wrong; they have other fancy versions, but this one in particular is the only one that they made one of. And I'm super pumped that I was able to pick it up. I do wish the pocket clip was Timascus though. I mean, it's cool that they did the heat ano and they got some pink and they got some orange on there, so it doesn't look like it's totally off. It just doesn't compare to the vibrancy of the scales themselves. That is a milled titanium medium carry, non-reversible pocket clip. And as far as the ergonomics, this handle is very comfortable. We've got a really nice, generous spot for your finger. And then we've got kind of this, I don't know, almost kind of like, I don't want to say gun stock, but I'm going to go ahead and say gun stock grip. So I can get in here, plenty of room. I have large size hands, so I have a full 4-finger grip. And it's just really comfortable. Because of the way they have the pocket clip shaped, how it sits low and it's flat. There's no like, there's not like a big pointy tip or anything like that. It genuinely just melts into your hand. You would have an easier time finding a needle in a haystack than you would finding a hot spot on this knife. It's just not there. Now, because of the Timascus scales, the and the backspacer. Well, I say because of the Timascus scales, but actually, now that I think about it, I don't think they're any heavier. That's zirconium I'm thinking of. But it is a little butt heavy, and overall, this knife is a lot heavier than what you might expect given the size, but we'll go over that a little bit more later. It's a little butt heavy, hefty overall. We do have some jimping, but it's non-functional jimping. It's more decorative than anything. Not because the jimps aren't good, but just because of how low it sits. You're not really breaking the service. You're not really breaking the surface of the scales. So you don't have any way to really meaningfully get to the jimps. As far as the blade goes, we've got this very clean looking harpoon Bowie. And I say harpoon because the tip comes higher than the back of the scales, and then the Bowie part's pretty obvious because it's a Bowie. Bowie. A really nice blasted finish, except for the flats. That is a hand satin. See if I can kind of, there we go. Yeah, so hand satin on the flats. We are rocking M390. I don't know what the heat treat is because I don't know who the OEM is. And I'm actually having a hard time guessing too, because after a while you get pretty used to what knives from certain OEMs feel like. And this doesn't feel like a knife that like I can peg the OEM. Obviously, it's going to be a Chinese OEM, but it doesn't feel like a Riot. It doesn't feel like a Best Tech. So I'm not 100% sure. I did try to use ChatGPT to find out, but no bueno. ChatGPT was like, I don't know who makes it. So, and then we do have a flat grind for the blade. Now, one spot that I'm not as happy with is going to be the detent. It is a lighter detent. And that's not the end of the world. I just wish there was more feedback on deployment and on drop. So the acoustics are a little muffled, partially because of this backspacer. Not as much room for the scales to echo or the blade to echo whenever it drops. So it's a little more of a dulled sound. Oh, and you can see right there, it took like virtually no effort to get it to come out, which can be good, but you typically want a little more like break action force. And with this one here, it's like you could push soft, you could push hard, and it'll come out. And I know that sounds like it'd be a good thing, but it's really not. You really want it to be a clean break. You want to put pressure, and then you want it to rock it out. With this, pressure, and then we're out, right? Now I can adjust that, and I will. On the drop, it's a little hydraulic, a little shake shutty. I am going to put skips in this, and whenever I do, I can guarantee it'll be a complete and total smooth hydraulic drop all by itself. And that actually might help improve the detent a little bit too. Ugh. Yeah, I'm just blown away at this thing. Now, lock bar access is easy. They've generously kind of scalloped this out. And then you have little bitty jimps right here to make it easy for whenever you go in to disengage it. You just go in, you land, you catch it nice and easy, and then it drops. This is lefty friendly, albeit we don't have a reversible pocket clip. Because it's an inset liner, you don't have to worry about putting too much pressure on the backside scale, which means lefties can manipulate this just as easy as anybody else can. Now, overall length is going to be 7.75 inches with a blade length of 3.35 inches and a blade to handle ratio of 0.76 or 76%. Let's go ahead and bust out the milled aluminum Civivi brazen, which is going to come in. It looks way more dramatic to you guys because of the angle, but it's going to be about, I'd say maybe half an inch, a little bit less. Maybe a third of an inch bigger. Let's go ahead and do the Civivi Altus. And Civivi Altus is coming in about an inch and some change shorter. We're going to do the real steel Sylph. And the real steel Sylph is going to be about half an inch shorter, roughly, because these two knives are so close to each other. By the way, if you're looking for a great budget knife, I can't recommend the real steel Sylph enough. If you can't afford a Chavez, then get a Chavez Blue Label. If you can't afford a Blue Label, then get the Iconic series of Chavez. And if you can't afford that, right here, baby. This thing's fantastic. It's folded steel, so technically it's an integral with a jacket over the top of it. But this thing's snappy, functional, and they have a bunch of different colorways. 10 out of 10. It's like right around $50. Some of the best bang for your buck, by the way. Okay, get out of here, Stilf. It's enough out of you. We have an overall weight of 4.1 ounces. And what's the price tag on this guy? Well, it's not cheap, right? But I think given what you're getting, I think the price is more than fair. So for this guy, the total price was right around $479. Is that expensive? Oh God, yes. Is that a necessary amount to pay for a knife? Absolutely not. I will refer back to the Rockstar we had out here a moment ago. This is going to do everything that can do for 1/10 of the price, right? It's not more functionality per dollar, right? The functionality kind of stops at about $50, right? $50, you're getting every dollar is typically going towards better utility, better steel, better heat treat, stuff like that. And then you get up to this price point where it's $479, just shy of $500, and you're not paying for utility anymore. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite because I am never ever going to use this. Spoiler alert, this is a collector piece. This will be a safe queen. But for anybody watching, just know you can spend $50 and get something like this, or you can spend $50 and get something like this, right? And because of the blade shape of these two knives, they're both going to perform cutting tasks better than the Infinite Charlie Weynao will. So by no means is it expected that you pay this much for a knife. It's not mandatory. It's not anything, because about $400 ago, you stopped paying for utility. So yeah, this is going to be a safe queen for me. This is going to have a permanent stay in my collection. Once I put the skiffs in, I think it's going to be about perfect. And I'm a huge fan of this knife. The skiffs aren't going to give me a substantially stiffer detent, but they might smooth it out a little bit. That's one of the reasons it made me think it wasn't a Riyadh or a Best Tech, because there's some areas of this knife which are executed nicer than Riyadh or Best Tech, like this Damascus, for instance. But the detent is not as good as what I would get from a Riyadh or a Best Tech. So that is a little disappointing. We also do have some double clutch, I forgot to mention. So if you don't know, double clutch is whenever you have a flipper tab and you disengage the knife, and where the flipper tab touches your thumb, you haven't cleared the detent ball, right? Which means I'm perpetually stuck like this. So what I have to do is I have to disengage it a little bit lower, get past the detent ball, and then I can close. And this might sound crazy. I was thinking about doing a flipper tab delete. I know beyond the shadow of a doubt it would make the knife look better, and it would get rid of the double clutch, but it's also a one of one. And I'm never going to sell it, but tell me down in the comments, should I delete this flipper tab? Let's see what it would look like. I mean, I think it looks so much better without it. Yeah, let's put it to a vote. Just say keep or delete in the comments, and then I'll tally it up, and then we'll do whatever you guys decide. If you guys say delete it, we'll delete it. If you guys say keep it, we'll keep it. So let me ask though, for you, what is this? Is this a user or is it a safe queen? Definitely safe queen for me. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, there's people that daily carry knives like this, and $500 or whatever is not a big deal, for their knife budget, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. You could use the crap out of this. This thing can absolutely be a high functioning tool. But for me, I bought this on aesthetics, not just the Damascus, but also the blade shape and the overall profile of it. And I find that the reason I buy a knife largely dictates, what I do with it. If I buy a knife because I'm in love with the way it looks, then I'm never going to use it because tarnishing it doesn't sound fun to me. But if I buy a knife because, it looks ergonomic and it looks fun to use, well, then it's going to be a user. It's not going to be a safe queen. So whenever I bought this knowing it was just going to be eye candy for me. I'd put it on display somewhere, bust it out for shorts, stuff like that. But yeah, let me know down in the comments. What are your thoughts? Is it a user, safe queen? I will say this knife made me realize how scuffed my lighting setup is, because it took a long time to readjust everything to make sure that the light was hitting it in a way that would illuminate it. And then even now, if I shift at a different angle, I lose that illumination. So I've got 2 lights on it. I probably need to upgrade to like 4. That way you guys get a better angle and you don't have to go through these periods of blackout darkness. Yeah, this thing's just absolutely stunning. Actually ate up a decent amount of my Blade Show budget, but I couldn't be happier with it, to be honest. Zero regrets. I love this thing. So with that being said, if you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe. Spoiler alert, I bought a second one that is a different fit and finish to this one. It's not a one of one, but it's pretty fantastic. So that one, if you guys vote flip or delete for this one, that other one will get a flip or delete. And as soon as I get it back, because it's getting worked on right now, as soon as I get it back, I'll do a video on it and I'll show you guys. And then kind of like what I mentioned earlier, I'm not monetized on YouTube, and all of the share sale links that we use to make money whenever you purchase from us, that system's transitioning, so I have no access to those for the foreseeable future. I do spend about $240 a month on shipping, so if you want to throw a few bucks my way, if all your bills are paid, family's taken care of, you have your knife money set aside, you're literally just like looking at the money and you're thinking, do I want to burn it? Do I want to bury it? Nah, I'll give it to Sever 7 so he can, cover shipping. $1 or $2 goes a really long way, guys. So I would super appreciate that. Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo will all be linked in the description. I can't thank you guys enough. And the people that have already supported and sent funds, you guys are an absolute freaking blessing. Thank you so much for that. All right. That's all we have for today, guys. So I appreciate you very much. And until the next time, peace.